in New York. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. You're officially in the last week of videos. It's literally just flown, so we'll have to make the most of this last week of videos. Starting with this one, for today's video, I am doing a Girlboss Habits video. And I have my coffee here because even though it's not necessarily a full-on coffee talk, anytime we sit down and just get like mad real and have life chats, I just feel like I always just want to have a hot beverage for it. I don't know why. I made myself pumpkin spice coffee with vegan pumpkin spice marshmallows. You know, I'm just gonna give you guys a close-up. Have you ever seen something so beautiful? Really quick, if you guys aren't following me already, be sure to check out my Twitter and my Instagram. I'll pop it up on the screen here. Come join the Coast Crew. I've been posting a bunch of fall stuff, and I'm also gonna start teasing some stuff from November now, so definitely come check that out. And aside from that, if you guys would like to know the 5 habits that I consider to be most girl boss, then just keep watching. Girl boss habit number 1 is going to bed and waking up early. Now this girl boss habit might not, include all of you guys watching this. I know that there's some of you that might work shift work or have to get up super late, or maybe goes to bed super late because of work. I mean, take this as you will. Whether or not you are somebody that goes to bed early and also wakes up early, it's more so the matter of getting enough sleep that's so important. So for the longest time, I had myself convinced that I could run off of 6 hours of sleep. And in the last 2 months, it's really been apparent to me that that is not the case, which is why I did my 10 p.m. challenge and why I've been trying to force myself to get the minimum of 7 hours of sleep. I don't know why, but when I wake up earlier, I feel more motivated, I get more stuff done, and I just feel like I tackle so much more in one day. So that's why I try to get up earlier, which means I have to try and get to sleep earlier as well. I now try to go to bed around 10:30, 11 and wake up between 6 and 7 every single day, which gives me the optimal amount of sleep. And then on the weekends, I make sure I get 8 or more. I just let my body wake up naturally. If you're wondering why I consider this to be one of the number 1 girl boss habits, it's because it isn't until you try and work on no sleep that you realize how much our bodies thrive off of it. And I'm not just talking yeah, you get tired, you get lethargic, but I find when I don't get enough sleep, even the way I start thinking changes, my anxiety changes, I feel so much more overwhelmed by things rather than feeling like I can tackle things. Sleep also helps us manage our appetite. It helps us keep from getting sick. I don't know why I've just been so obsessed with sleep lately, but it's so important for your body, it's so important for your mind, and it's so important in terms of wanting to slay life. You have to give your body the time to rest and recoup to be able to go at it. Recently I did a full video on how to be an early riser that I'll pop up on the screen somewhere, so if you guys want to check that out, definitely do. And that way I don't have to spend too much more time blabbering about this. But tip number 1 or habit number 1 of a girl boss is getting enough sleep. Girl boss habit number 2 is fighting procrastination. Procrastination is the devil. And I feel like any of you guys out there watching this, everybody in their life goes through pits of self-doubt. When you have or you're going through a pit of self-doubt, procrastination just weasels its way in and it starts to suck all the productivity and all of the self-fulfillment out of your life. I say this because for me recently, I've been a little bit more anxious than usual and I've been trying to kind of navigate it. But recently I've noticed the direct correlation between when I'm feeling anxious or when I'm feeling down about myself, I instantly look at everything with a very failed attitude. I look at it as if I've already failed at it before I've even tried, which makes me push off even starting the task to begin with. This can be something as simple as, going to get groceries to finishing a big project. When you look at it through a skewed perspective of self-doubt or negativity, you procrastinate doing those things because you're afraid that you're gonna fail or you think you failed before you've even begun. We blow these things up to be so big in our heads that we suddenly think that we're not equipped, we don't have enough time, it's not gonna be good enough, so we'll have to wait and push it off for another time. And that's just not the case, because anytime I've forced myself to fight that habit, to fight procrastination, it ends up being so much easier than I thought it was going to be, and it gets done so much quicker and I feel so much better. So if you guys need some tips on how to beat procrastination, my favorite tip that I use is I use the timer on my phone. If it's a big, huge task that I have to do, let's say editing a really extensive video, sometimes that is just so overwhelming to me to try and do in one day on top of all the other things that I feel I have to do as well, that I set timers. So for 1 straight hour, I'll put the timer on, and for that whole hour, I have to just hunker down and edit the video and not think or focus on anything else. And once the alarm rings and the hour is over, I'll give myself 15 minutes break to make the calls, pay the bills, run to the grocery store, take Bentley out, and then I set the hour again on my timer and do it again. It sounds weird and I don't know why, but chunking out your day with a timer makes it so much easier to get so much more done, and you stop procrastinating because your mind isn't overwhelmed by all the things it's trying to do. It's like, no, just for this solid hour, my time and dedication is devoted to this task and nothing else, and I can do everything else when this timer ends. I don't know why, but trust me, it works. Give it a try. And the second thing that I use to beat procrastination is work versus reward. So for instance, usually when I procrastinate, it's like, oh, I'm gonna procrastinate editing this video because I don't have enough time, but instead I'm gonna watch this episode of Friends that I've seen 7 times in a row. I don't know about you guys, but for me, anytime I end up procrastinating, the thing that I'm using to procrastinate with, whether it be food, TV, lounging around doing nothing, sitting on my phone, I feel like I can't fully enjoy it because I know that there's something else I should be doing. So instead, I force myself to do the work to get the reward. So for instance, if there's a new episode of a show I want to watch, if there's something I want to do, I at least force myself to do a 1-hour chunk timer on getting that thing done before I reward myself with something, i.e., you know, a burrito or a rerun episode of Friends. Not only does this work, but it just makes the reward part more enjoyable. Like I can sit down and watch Halloween Town and actually enjoy it knowing all my videos are edited versus watching it and in the back of my mind is this little anxious like feeling like I should be doing something else rather than watching Harry, Ron, and Hermione fight Voldemort. Girlboss habit number 3 is loving to learn or seeing anything in life as a chance to learn. Now this is totally a perspective, and it's a perspective that absolutely everyone on this earth can have. It's just a choice of whether or not you choose to look at things that way. Whether you are in school or you're not, every single day we have so many opportunities to learn something as if we are still students. We are greeted at almost every moment with a chance to learn and experience something new and gain more knowledge from that experience. Everything from learning how to coupon so you save more money on groceries, learning how to change a tire when it goes flat on the side of the road, or learning a new language. Being a girl boss is looking at it as this is an experience to learn more and gain more knowledge in life rather than that seems too daunting, this is such a negative experience in my life, or I don't have time for that. And this especially comes in handy when, you know, life tends to come around and kick you on your butt every now and then, whether it be a flat tire or you get into a fender bender or you have to pay your taxes, like whatever it is, instead of looking at it as a negative experience, you look at it as a challenge and a chance to learn more and gain more knowledge. I think if we forever stay students, then everything in life, instead of being positive and negative, it's all just experience. Girl boss habit number 4, learning how to prioritize and balance your life. I feel like when you hear the term girl boss nowadays, which is such a common term now, thank you to Sophia Amoruso, you think success, you think business, you think money, you think going out there, taking charge of life. And yes, of course, success is amazing and work is important, but I also think that being a girl boss is knowing when to prioritize things over your success or over work. I was actually talking about this with my sister recently, where I feel like the reason why we're starting to see our generation become so disconnected and so sad is because back in the day, like I think even when my parents were having kids, it wasn't about landing your dream job. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to land your dream job, but it was more so about making a means so that you could be connected with the people that mattered most to you. And I feel like what's changed from that generation to our generation is that we're seeing so many more entrepreneurs nowadays. We're seeing so many more people going out there, chasing their dreams, traveling the world, and living their best life. And that's amazing. But I think something that we all need to also promote and never forget is to put family, friends, and your community above work and success. And now I'm not sure everyone's going to agree with me on that one, but I just know personally that when I decided that I wanted to take on YouTube full term, I was so like constantly working, and not that I was doing it for any sort of like big momentum or gain. It was just naturally because I loved doing it, I had a passion for it, and so I followed that passion. And that passion led me to exactly where you're seeing right now. I think along the way, I wish I had chosen, you know, put down work for a night or two and hang out with my family more. Spend a little bit more time with my friends or living with my friends before going off and living on my own. Those are like honest to God truths that I feel. I think that it's also important to prioritize and to balance your life and know that it's not all about success. It's not all about having this dream life or this dream world, because what success actually equates to is happiness. And if you really truly think about it, the things that bring you the most sense of happiness are love, joy and connection with other people. So being a girl boss means knowing when to prioritize your friends and your family, the people that matter most to you, over yourself or your success. And finding that balance in life between, giving yourself time, putting all your thoughts and efforts into your passion, but also giving a little piece of your time and yourself to the people that you love and care about the most. Because without being corny, at the end of the day, I think that that's what matters most. I got so many marshmallows on that sip. Oh my god. And last but not least, girl boss habit number 5 is knowing that you're not perfect, but self-correcting anyways. When you go through life with the perspective of mistakes actually just being lessons, then you stop putting so much pressure on yourself and you stop being so hard on yourself for all the times that you aren't necessarily right. I know from reading your guys' comments and from past coffee talk videos that I think something that we all might maybe have in common is this little bit of self-doubt that tends to, sit inside of our heads and make us feel kind of crappy about ourselves. And I feel like fighting that little piece inside your brain that wants to eat yourself alive every time you embarrass yourself, beat yourself down for every time that you fail. I think fighting that voice is honestly one of the hardest things that we will do in our lifetime. So when we shift our perspectives from why did I do this to what did I learn from this, it takes so much of the pressure off. I remember when I was reading You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, one of the biggest things that I still use in my mind to this day, anytime I'm feeling so overwhelmed and so much pressure to be perfect, is I just want to see if I can do it. So for Youtober, for instance, there are so many nights where I filmed 3 videos and they were completely out of focus, or I was afraid that the videos weren't going to be good enough, or whatever it was. Instead of feeling all of that pressure to make this series perfect, I wonder if I could refilm those 3 videos in the next, 2 hours before I lose the daylight. And that way, whether you can do it or you can't do it, it was just a wondering if you could, so it takes the pressure off. And we stop holding ourselves to these ridiculous standards and telling ourselves that we're failures when we don't meet them. Which also works for mistakes. When you do something wrong, when you bite off someone's head because you're in a bad mood, or you say something that maybe offended somebody, or you completely fell off your workout routine and have been eating pizza every day. Whatever it is, being a girl boss isn't beating yourself up for it, it's self-correcting and just trying to do better next time. And while being a girl boss means being determined, I think it also just means enjoying the present moment and understanding that you're trying your best, just like everybody else on this planet. And so there you have it. Those are my 5 top girl boss habits or perspectives. If you guys want to add a girl boss habit, definitely be sure to leave it down below. I love the comment section of videos like this because everybody's just so warm and welcoming and supportive. And aside from that, I love you guys to the moon and back. I hope you guys enjoyed today's YouTuber video, and I'm gonna go eat more marshmallows and make more coffee. Bye guys.
Nothing's gonna hurt you, babe.